Hello, and welcome to the Park Podcast, the Mars Park SGA's podcast series. My name's Carson, and I'm the senior representative here to answer all your questions about Mars Park. On today's episode, we'll be discussing online Stampede and our personal experiences with clubs at Mars Park. Here to help answer your questions are some student government representatives.
Hi, I'm Kate Bundin, and I'm a senior representative.
Hi, I'm Paige Bundin, and I'm a sophomore representative.
Hi, I'm Anne Gray Oxrider, and I'm also a sophomore representative.
Today, we have Jayla and Emsley with us to answer some questions about Stampede, which is coming up for new clubs and existing clubs. Hey, Jayla and Emsley. My first question for you guys is, can you explain what it means to be on ICC?
ICC is Interclub Council, and we are in charge of all the clubs at Myers Park High School.
Thank you guys so much for all the hard work you put in. How is ICC adapted to managing clubs in virtual school?
A way that we adapted to remote learning is by creating a virtual Stampede. Included in this virtual Stampede will be videos of all the clubs explaining how their club runs and what fun activities are involved in their clubs.
My third question is, how can we get involved in clubs this year?
We have over 50 clubs that have decided to function virtually, so there's still plenty of ways to get involved. It's important to follow our club Instagram, which is at Myers Park ICC, and also look at our website, which is myersparkicc.weebly.com for club contact information. And because Stampede is virtual this year, we have videos of clubs explaining their goals for the year and giving their contact information. Those will be played every Tuesday on the morning announcements. And then we will also have a club contact sheet on the opening page on school Chromebooks. And also just reach out to myersparkicc@gmail.com with any questions.
I know that our school year is a little bit different, but can you explain what Stampede looks like this year? And can you explain how it's going to work?
This year, Stampede is virtual, so we are having each club that has decided to function during virtual learning send a 1 to 3 minute video to us, and then they will play on morning announcements, every Tuesday, and about anywhere between 3 to 5 videos will be played, and these videos will explain what the club does and what its goals are for the year, and it will provide contact information. So it is really important on Tuesdays to tune into the announcements for the next couple of months to learn more about the clubs.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Jayla and Emsley. We appreciate everything you do, and we're so excited to see all the clubs this year.
Well, guys, I know you're all a part of clubs. I'd love to get to know your experiences.
Oh, I was a part of DECA my freshman year, and it was like one of the most fun things I did all year. It's basically a marketing and entrepreneurial club where you get to learn about like real life experiences and different aspects of marketing. They go along with your marketing classes, but if you aren't in one, you can write into an essay if you've already done DECA, which is what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to do a written campaign with my friends, which will be really fun. And I don't know, it's just something I really look forward to. It was just a really fun time. We had a trip to Greensboro last year, and it was just a lot of fun.
See, I got a question for you, Paige. I took a marketing class in my sophomore year, and our teacher tried to get all of us to do DECA. And I'm curious because I guess you didn't explain it to where I understood what they were doing, but I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask, what does DECA really do? And these events that you guys go to, what are the specifics of the activities, I guess?
So there are many different events. There's role plays or there's written events. So role plays is you pick your category of marketing and they give you a problem, you pick if you put a certain store somewhere or a different store depending on the town or whatever, and you pick something and you have a conversation with like a judge, and they judge you off of like what you say and like how good you are at what you're doing, I guess. And
That's
then
awesome.
written events, it's like you plan it for like a couple months or like a month maybe. Last year I had like I was like a financial advisor for Wells Fargo, which was like my event, and I had to like propose an idea to somebody. So it just depends on what class you're doing pretty much.
Some clubs that I'm involved in are Odyssey of the Mind, Feed 42, and then this year my friend Finley and I started a yoga club just for people in the morning that want to do yoga. So Feed 42 actually used to hold dinner parties pre-COVID. So we would hold dinner parties for parents who wanted to eat dinner together, and they would donate to Feed, which is a big organization feeding the hungry around the world. And then Odyssey of the Mind is a creative problem-solving competition, and I get to be on a team with my friends, and we solve problems that they give to us, and then we go to regionals, states, and we went to world finals last year, and it's a really fun experience. So if you like being challenged creatively, then that's definitely a good club to join.
As a freshman last year, I joined the Burrito Bikers Club, and I joined also out of my initial interest because my dad and Sue Holderness's dad, when I was younger, they came up with this idea to make burritos and then bike every Sunday morning and take them down to the homeless downtown in Charlotte. And so out of that, since growing up and doing that as I was younger and would go with my dad and bike, and then also seeing it being brought to my high school was really cool. And so I decided to also join that because my dad was a big part of it. And then seeing it being brought to Myers Park was really cool. And in that club, you basically do the same thing that my dad would do every morning or every Sunday morning, but you make burritos with with the club, and then depending on the schedule, every Sunday or every other Sunday, what suits, we go and you bike down to feed them to the homeless. And it's a really good and nice experience to go see people that are in your city.
So obviously, Anne Gray, you had a personal attachment to the Burrito Bikers Club, but I'm curious, for me, trying to navigate Stampede, looking at the hundreds of clubs or however many there are, trying to walk through the quad and trying to determine which clubs you want to be a part of and how to know what's going to be best fit for you. Was there any real motivations for any of you all to join the clubs that you're a part of?
I think advice that I would give to someone is when you go around during Stampede, and this year obviously it'll be differently since we're not in person doing it, but I would just go and be really energetic and just try to sign up for as many clubs as I thought where I was interested in, and then you get onto their reminds, and then once you sign up, you don't have to commit to that club right away, but I think just getting out there and being able to see if like you're at least a little bit interested in a club and then put your name down just shows that you want to be a part of doing something at Myers Park.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's just putting your name down really just means you get put on the remind and you go to the interest meeting, which just expands your knowledge on the club. And it doesn't, like Anne Gray says, it doesn't mean that you have to do it, but it gives you that option. Whereas if you don't sign up for anything, you won't be as involved, which I think is really, really important.
It's also a really good way to meet new people. Like, when I joined Odyssey of the Mind, I didn't really join with any friends. I just kind of wanted to see what it was like. And then I got onto a team, and a lot of them are my best friends now. So it's just a great way to meet new people and new friends that have the same interests as you.
You know, Kate, I think that's a really good point that you brought up. I think I think what shies people away from joining clubs is, let's say that your friend isn't going to join that club, and then you just feel like you don't want to because you don't know anybody. But I'm curious, with your guys' experience in clubs, how easy, how challenging is it to build relationships with those people? You know, if you guys could expand on the community aspect and how you guys really engage with one another, I think that would be really beneficial to the people that are on the fence of joining clubs or not.
Yeah, I think what's really great about it is that you're not staying within just your grade. The club can be anybody from any grade, and doing that, you get to meet new people not just within your grade. And so I think that part, being able to be in a room with seniors and juniors that I had not seen before and like hear stories about their experience from the club, really made me get more excited for what I wanted to be a part of.
Also, another thing about the community aspect is that there are built-in events for clubs. So one of these is Tailgate, and it is one of my favorite events all year because the clubs get to hold interactive booths with like food, and there's a food truck in the parking lot before the homecoming game, and a lot of people go, and it's super fun. And so there's just built-in events where you can interact with your peers in a fun way. So yeah.
I just think community depends on whatever club it is that you're joining. Certain clubs would be more involved with each other than others. Like, with my experience, DECA was more of a school-based club, like education kind of, so it was more of an in-class thing. But then once we got to go to these different, or to like Greensboro and stuff like that, it was like you got really, really close with certain people, and it was just a lot of fun to know you have those people.
And that concludes this week's episode. Thank you to all my fellow representatives for joining me today. It's so important to stay connected with our peers, especially in times like these. In order to stay updated with all things Mars Park, it's important to follow at Mars Park High School and at MPHS_SGA on Instagram. Also, sign up for the Mustang Express email chain to receive important information about Mars Park. You can subscribe on our MPHS PTSO website. If you have any further questions you'd like to add to the podcast, you can DM either Instagram account. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another Mars Park High School Student Government podcast episode. Look forward to having you. Bye.